And the crocodile is not letting go, and he was not getting any weaker because water is his territory. For Gajendra, the territory is the land. So this is like foreign land. So when you go to a foreign country, you're kind of timid already. You don't know the rules, you know the laws, you know the people, and when things happen, then it's nerve-wracking. Anyway, so the crocodile kept getting stronger, and the elephant, the Gajendra, kept getting weaker. He was still thinking that sooner or later this crocodile is going to get tired and I'll come out. And the crocodile would sometimes bite from left side of his teeth, sometimes the right side teeth, and so on and so forth. Which is another very important point to understand. Maya is like crocodile in many ways. So let me explain to you. Maya has an ability to grab us, to trap us. Interestingly, whenever we get trapped by Maya, if it is a good thing happening to us, which is also Maya. So like you get lots of money, you get lots of power, you get lots of friends and a lot of opulence, and you think this is great. And at that time you don't even think this is Maya. You say this is my karma, my ability, my skills, my own ability and all those kind of things, and you are happy, not realizing that that is all Maya. But there's another effect of Maya making you rich, powerful, opulent. And what is that effect? Anybody? What is that effect of Maya? It encaps you even more. More money, you enjoy more money, means you're coming back again. Right? And in that way, the more you get enchanted by Maya, the more you get entrapped in the material world. By enjoying your opulence, you're ensuring your return to this material world. Right? Everybody agree? But we're happy. Oh, this is great, my big house, my big cars, and my wife and my husband, whatever, and my children. Look, they're all doing great. They become doctor and lawyer and professors and engineers, and everybody's doing great. And feeling very happy, not realizing the future is bleak. Right? So that's one way Maya traps. And that's you can think of as the crocodile has pleasure teeth also in that sense. When biting it, you're getting pleasure, right? Because it's a simile. You're getting the money and power and all that, and it's enjoying it. But that enjoyment is entrapment, and that's entrapment of the crocodile. And of course, at that time, we never say when will it end. Just keep hoping it will be always there. Then padam padam na padam tradition. Suddenly you lose all your money in the stock market, or there's a robbery or something, or the death in the family, or something bad happens. Suddenly you go from there to here. Now the other teeth of crocodile come in place. Now it's painful. The first reaction we have when a situation like that happens is it will go away. It's just but does anyone understand what sari sati lage means? What does it mean? Just so everybody knows.
7.5 years of violence.
So after 7.5 years, it will be good, right? So okay, just be patient for 7.5 years. But doesn't necessarily happen after 7.5 years. I know people who had a series of 7.5 years, and it just goes on. So the point is that we keep thinking it will go away, because isn't everything in the world temporary? Well, yeah, but temporary definition can be different for different people. What's temporary for Krishna is our lifetime, or many lifetimes, right? So again, it may or may not happen in the time frame that we want. Yes, we agree that the manifestations of Maya are temporary, but Maya is not temporary. When does Maya end? Anybody? It doesn't. Maya is the external potency of Krishna. When does Krishna end? He doesn't. He's eternal. Therefore, his external potency, just like his internal potency, is never ending. It's eternal. Therefore, Maya is always there. So to think that Maya will go away after some time is foolish. Similarly, its effect, it may change, but it's not in our control. And therefore, we can't simply be thinking it will go away, but it may not. Like we said, the elephant was fighting for 1,000 celestial years, so it took him 1,000 years for the Maya to go away. That's a long time, right? So anyway, so this, again, there was fighting and thinking this will happen. Finally, he came to the conclusion that, no, I'm not going to win. This does not look like a winnable situation. So what do you do when in trouble? You look to your friends, you look to your relatives. So he looked at his wives. He said, I'm so sorry, my dear husband, we love you. We tried to help, but we can't. We failed. He said, okay, these are just women. He looked at his children. They're strong. They also folded their hands and said, my dear father, we tried very hard. But this crocodile just wouldn't move. We tried and tried and tried. We've given up. We're sorry. He's standing at the beach, looking at him crying. He looks at his soldiers, generals, and they say the same thing. We tried, my dear Lord, my dear master, my dear king. We tried very hard. We can't win. They're standing there crying also. Suddenly it dawns upon the Gajendra that there's nobody to help. And that's another lesson for us. We try to develop a social circle. We try to develop a family circle. And we are convinced that our friends, our relatives are there in good times and bad times. And then our definition of friend becomes, if I have something in common with you, a business deal or something, you're my friend. If you and I think alike, you're my friend. If you and I enjoy the same movies or same whatever, then we are friends. And that's basically our definition of friends. But there is saying in English, it says, a friend indeed is friend in, no, sorry, I said it wrong. Friend in need is a friend indeed. So only the one that comes to your help when you need it, that's your friend. But most people they're not around when you need real help. Imagine going to somebody you've known been friends with for 30 years and saying, I lost all my money. I need $100,000. And see how many say yes, here it is. And how many give you excuses about, or they can make excuses like you wouldn't believe. And it is at that time who's your real friend. Or some cases that have happened recently in Toronto in my friend circle. Somebody gets very, very sick. They need 24/7 care. How many people show up? In Toronto, we have a V care group, which is Vaishnava's care group. And one of the things we do is the older devotees, senior citizens, or those in the hospital or not in good health, deliver some prasadam to them. And sometimes it's hard to find somebody to go and deliver prasadam to those people. Because I'm so busy, Prabhuji, I don't have the time, I gotta go to work, I gotta do this and that. All legitimate excuses, but still excuses, reason you cannot serve somebody else. That's the nature of this material world. Me first, then somebody else. Only when I have nothing else to do, then I go and deliver something. But that never happens. So, Srimad Bhagavatam calls this fallible soldiers. The soldiers who look like they'll protect you, because that's the function of a soldier, but when the bullets start, they run away. A fallible soldier. They're not going to be there to help you when you really need it. So, Gajendra's thinking, all my relatives, all those people who I loved or who I thought they loved me dearly, who claim to love me every day, standing there saying, I can't help you. Therefore, there's no one there. Now something else interesting happens. You all must have read a verse in Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter. Neha vikam nashasti vyaktivayo na vidyate. Right? Svalpam api asadharmasya prayato maiteko. So even a small amount of devotional service is enough to get rid of your biggest fear And whatever service you have done is never lost. So Prabhupada explains, unlike the bank balance, you may have $1 billion this life. When you go to the next life, that $1 billion is not going to go with you. But any spiritual credit, any devotional service you perform will go with you to the next life. So wherever you left off, that's where you will start. $1 billion go to zero, but devotional service, whatever stage you reach, you start from there. So always advancing. So therefore, whatever devotional service King Indradyumna had performed remained. Right? Excuse me. Another characteristic of Lord Krishna is we may forget Krishna, but Krishna does not forget what we have done for him. If we came one day to this temple and we found a piece of paper lying there, we picked it up and threw it in garbage. Krishna notices that and remembers that this boy did that service for him. So any amount of chanting or arti or any service we do, Krishna doesn't forget. So even when we forget, Krishna does not. So King Indradyumna in the body of elephant forgot Krishna completely because he enjoyed his offering so much. Krishna did not forget. So that's one point. Second point, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, that Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam cha. From me comes the remembrance and forgetfulness. Right? So I make you forget, I make you remember. So now, elephant has come, this Gajendra has come to a point where he says, "There's nobody to help me. I'm all alone." And Krishna has one other habit. When he wants to show you mercy, he puts you in a miserable condition. That's one of his ways, not only way, one of his. Actually, there is another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says, Yasyaham anugranami harishyatat dhanam shami. Tato adhanam janas asya swajana dukh dukhita. He says, when I give my special mercy to somebody, I take everything away. Don't be scared. It's only when he's showing that special mercy will take you back to Godhead right away. Otherwise, mercy can be, he gives you more money, he gives you more power, he gives you more position, he gives you more house, whatever property you want. So don't think just because serving him, he will take everything away. It's very special situation. But my point is that he said, when I do give my special mercy, I take everything away. Why? Because then everybody else leaves him. And then having then realized and understood that nobody left for me, the person says, I have only one person left now. Mere to Giridhar Gopal. There's nobody else. There's nobody else. I cannot go anywhere. He's my only shelter now. So that is his mercy. This is a very famous story in Srimad Bhagavatam about the Avanti Brahman. You will recall. Avanti Brahman is very, very rich. And lots of relatives, but when you have money, what happens? Friends appear. The relatives are born suddenly. I'm your dada's, charges, mama's, bhaiya. Right? Suddenly they appear and they'll show you all these introductions. But we lose it. Who are you? Have you met before? That's what happens. So now Gajendra is realizing the same thing. All these so-called wives, so-called children, so-called soldiers, do not get help. And then Krishna says, not only I take everything away, sometimes I'm really merciful and I crush any ego you had completely. So now look at what's happening to Gajendra. Gajendra is the king. Everybody bows down to him. Everybody considers him to be the strongest. Everybody accepts his authority. Everybody says, I'm your servant, I'm your servant, you're my boss, please. What can I do for you? And Gajendra is used to being treated royally. Now suddenly, he's being treated so poorly by the crocodile in front of all these people who literally worship him. He's looking very weak. It's very clear he cannot win. And all these people are witnessing it. Everybody who's respected him so much for his strength, for his opulence, is looking at him saying, yeah, he's nothing. He's nothing. His little crocodiles got him for 1,000 years, he cannot go anywhere. Think about the loss of self-esteem. Think of loss of any pride you have. Think about how insulting that must feel. And think about what it does to our ego. Crush it, and then crush it, and crush it more when it's just nothing but powder left. That's what's happened to Gajendra. Now Krishna comes to rescue. So having done all this to him, Krishna comes to rescue by reminding him. Reminding of what? Of the prayers he used to chant when he was king in the previous life. So remember, he says, I bring the remembrance, I bring the forgetfulness. Now he's bringing remembrance. All the prayers that he chanted as King Vijayanath are coming back to him. And it's coming back to him that when there's nobody for me, the Lord is there for me. So he starts to chant those prayers that he's chant as King Vijayanath. And he's looking at the blue sky. But he has this faith. But this faith is coming from his previous life. He has this faith that the Lord is there, that the Lord is looking at me, the Lord is Paramatma, as Paramatma is residing in everybody's heart, and therefore he is residing in my heart as well. And he knows at this time what I am feeling. He knows at this time how I am feeling. He knows the pain I'm feeling. And in that pain, in that feeling, he says, I surrender. You know, surrender is an interesting word. It's an English word, obviously, but if you make it English, which is Adha Hindi, Adha English, you can think of this sur under. Put your head under the lotus feet of the Lord. That is surrender, right? So what does surrender really mean? Surrender really means that I have no ability of my own anymore. And I need help. Only you can provide that help that I need today, at this very moment. Whatever I have or I will have is provided by you. I have no other protection at this time. Only protection I have is coming from you. There's nobody else who can protect me. And it is not that a surrendered soul, in this case Gajendra, is praying to be relieved of the pain. Gajendra is trapped under the teeth of the crocodile, in the mouth. He's in a lot of pain, but he's not praying to be relieved from the pain. Instead, what he's praying for is that relieve me from this pain and my material existence, so that I may come to you and serve you eternally. The problem in material existence is that there are too many distractions, too many other attractions, which take us away from the path that I want to follow. There are too many diversions, too many distractions. And those material attachments are not easy to let go of. So I want you to please, I need your help to get rid of all those things. So rid me of my material existence so I may simply have a spiritual existence. Why is that important? Again, we are a spiritual being, right? We're in a human body. But we should not think, and most people think, that when we come to the temple, we are a human being having a spiritual experience. That's correct, not correct. Rather, we live every day as a spiritual being having a human experience. Very big difference. Does everybody understand? Right? So never forget we are a spiritual being. We are the spirit soul. It's just that we've been trapped in a material body. This time, fortunately, it's a human body where we can actually serve Krishna. We can study the scriptures. We can know the right from the wrong. Right? So we're fortunate, but not too fortunate. It's a little fortunate. But we should always remember who we are. We're a spiritual being. A spiritual being, what is our identity? What is the identity we have? Anybody? True identity. Yes. Jiva Swarupa Krishna Niddas. We are the eternal servant of Krishna. So Gajendra is saying, please get rid of my material existence so I can come back to my original form as your servant and may serve you eternally from now on. By the way, what time I finished?
5:45.
5:45, okay, fine. So he's doing his prayers. But he's doing this prayer with full faith. With full faith that the Lord is there, He's watching me, and as I pray, He's listening to my prayers. And that should be our mood when we serve Krishna here. That this is not an imaginary statue. It's not just a piece of metal or wood or whatever. It is actually the Lord Himself, not different from the Lord. And have that faith that when I stand in front of the Lord, I hold my hands and I pray from my heart, He's listening. But there's one very important thing also to remember. It's like sending a letter. Remember the days when you used to send letters to people? Nobody does that anymore. But there was a time. You send an envelope. So what do? You write an address on the envelope, right? Sometimes you got the address wrong, which means you went to the wrong God, so-called God. Some demigod, this or that, some powerful person. There's a temple of Rajinikanth somewhere in South India, right? They made a temple of, what's his name? Sanjay Dutt, thank you, yeah, Sanjay Dutt, so on and so forth. I mean, wrong address. Okay. Anyway, so let's say you got the right address. You got a really nice, beautiful envelope. I sent it to the person. The person you sent it to received it. What does that person do now? He's got this beautiful envelope. What does he do? Open it, right? What does he do with the envelope? Throw in the garbage, right? Okay. The real thing for this person is the letter. Now, if the letter has got garbage in it, is that person going to be pleased? No, throw it in garbage. So when we have all sorts of material desires in our heart and we're praying not so sincerely, not with a desire to serve Him, but a desire for Him to serve me. My dear Lord, Lotto Max coming up this Wednesday, $45 million. Please help me win it. And that's your letter. Is the Lord happy with that? No. No, it's not happy. That's a useless letter. Simply, just as one example, it could be anything. So what's Krishna looking for when we pray to Him? Any thoughts?
Loving heart.
Loving heart. What else?
Submissive. Submissive.
Yes, submissive, our feelings, our intent. That's what it's looking at. If the submissiveness is not there, our intent to serve is not there, if we are doing whatever we're doing to show everybody, look what a great devotee I am, right? I know, for example, people, I can speak of Toronto, they'll cook for the whole Sunday feast. Then they'll come upstairs and ask everybody, how was it? All they want to have is praise. Oh, Mataji, bahut badhiya. Very good, very good. If they don't hear that, they get very upset. Well, is Krishna pleased with that? No, it's doing for them. Similarly, sometimes see people dancing. But they're not dancing for Krishna. Look at everybody who's admiring their dancing. Look how great it is. Well, Krishna's not pleased with that. You may be dancing, but it's not for Krishna. Similarly, somebody did a class and think, oh, people are clapping, everybody's happy, they tell me how great speaker I am. That's not for Krishna, he's not happy. So Krishna is looking at what is our intention is, what is our intent. And then what's the bhav, the feeling behind it, Mataji was saying? And how surrendered we are. That is the letter that Krishna is expecting to get. If he doesn't get that, it's discarded. So, Gajendra is offering his prayers in that mood. That, my dear Lord, yes, I did forget you for a while, but right now, I'm thinking about you as my protector. Again, not my protection from the crocodile, but from this material existence. And he's saying, in the prayer he says, you know what's in my heart. And I know you're listening. You're the one who can relieve people's material existence from their material existence. You're the one who is responsible for creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material world. You're the one who inspires the devotees to serve you in a pure way. And so on and so on, it goes on. All these demigods are looking, Brahma, Shiva, they're all looking. And they're saying, he's offering prayers. He's not offering to us. So they don't go to rescue them. They're waiting for the person offering the request to. And sure enough, Lord Vishnu hears that prayers, those prayers of Gajendra, and he rushes on his Garuda, the carrier, comes there, and now Gajendra is seeing the Lord is coming. He's become so weak he can barely move, he can barely speak, but somehow with great effort he plucks a lotus flower with his trunk and offers it to the Lord. My dear Lord, I'm in a condition where I cannot offer you anything, but please accept just this lotus flower. And the Lord does. He accepts it, comes down, takes a Sudarshan chakra, and he pulls Gajendra along with the crocodile out of the water. He takes Sudarshan chakra and chops off the head of the crocodile. Well, what happens if Krishna kills somebody or Lord Vishnu kills somebody? What happens? They're delivered, right? So suddenly this crocodile turns into a Gandharva, which is, again, the story is that he was another, everyone knows Gandharva? Who's Gandharva? What's a Gandharva? Yeah, the demigods were very good at music, singing, playing music and all that. So he was one time with a whole lot of girlfriends bathing in a river. And Devada Rishi happened to be there. And again, he's with girlfriend, he wants to show off his girlfriend, so he goes and puts the leg of Devada Rishi. Which upsets Devada Rishi very much. He says, you're acting like a crocodile dragging my foot, so go become a crocodile. So then he becomes crocodile, and then, of course, Krishna is tying all this, connects the dots, so he's making this arrangement. So this is why I was saying, Krishna was very happy when Indra did not react to the curse. Because I have a plan for you, don't worry. I'm happy now this will happen. So look at it this way. We talk about mercy. How can a curse be mercy? Well, look at it this way. King Indra was a very advanced devotee, but still it could have taken another 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 births before he actually gets delivered. This way, one more birth and that's it. Krishna takes him back to God or Vishnu. So it's a blessing, isn't it? All those material existence gone from that one curse. Similarly, same thing to his name was Hu, the Gandharva king. Hu, same thing. Not Hu, it's Hu, H-U. He got delivered by the Lord. So he got Sarupi Mukti, right? Gajendra got Sarupi Mukti also. The point is that the Lord understood or knows the future. Vedaham Samtitani, Vartamanani, Jarjana, and the past, and the present, and the future. And so therefore he was happy that this king has not reacted, so that allows me to do my pastime of next time he will be in an elephant body and crocodile will be there, and the battle will happen, and I have a chance to deliver to these people. So the moral of the whole story is that we should not be upset when the reversals happen in our life. B, we should know and be totally convinced that any devotional service we do for the Lord is eternal. See, when we pray sincerely, when we serve sincerely, Lord accepts it. So whatever service we do, we make a garland for Him, we chant, we sing, we dance, we offer arti, we offer bhoga, should be done with the full conviction that the Lord is there, He's watching me, He's accepting my service. He's pleased with my service because my intent is right. And we should know that Maya has strange ways of acting upon us. We have to know anything that's not directly to deal with Krishna is Maya. Whether it's good thing or bad thing. Good things trap us, bad things trap us. Everything that's not directly connected to Krishna traps us. And if our idea is to get out of the material world, the only way is to serve Krishna. Anything else will keep us trapped in this material world. We work very hard in everyday life to make sure of our return to the material world. You get the jobs, you get, household life, you get positions, all those things, just ensuring that we come back. Even when we do pious deeds, when we do charity to other people, hospitals and all that, we're ensuring we come back. So we have to understand this all Maya designed to keep us here until we become totally surrendered to Krishna. And serve Him in that surrendered, submissive mood, and serve Him for His pleasure, not for something in return. And that is why Lord Chaitanya came and emphasized what's known as Brajabhav. What's Brajabhav? Anybody?
Selfless. Selfless.
Totally selfless is all for Krishna. I get something bad in return, I get something good in return, I get bad reputation, I get chastisement. Whatever I lose all my positions, but if Krishna is happy, it's all worth it. The gopis didn't care, they'll be chastised by their in-laws or their husbands, or the people in the society will criticize them for going in the middle of the night, somebody else. Gopis didn't care that people were not allowing them to go. They left anyway. They didn't have any other topic of conversation except Krishna. It's all about Krishna. And if Krishna is the center of my life, all about pleasing Krishna, I can't think of anything but Krishna. That's Brajabhav. If we can do that, then we're living in Vrindavan, no matter whether in Oakville or Toronto or wherever. And that is the mood Krishna is looking for. When in that mood we serve Him, He says, okay, come with me. We don't ask for it. We don't ask. A pure devotee never says, I want to go back to Godhead. Pure devotee simply says, allow me to serve you selflessly for your pleasure. Wherever you put me. You make me a mosquito, you make me a dog, you make me an elephant. It doesn't matter. Don't make me Brahma if I'm not serving you. Make me a dog, that's okay. And that's the mood, we should carry. And in a surrendered mood, in a mood, heart full of love, I want to serve you, my Lord Krishna. Please allow me so that I may please you. And that's the goal of my life. And that's the lesson of the Gajendra story. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do we have time for questions? Or is it?
Yes, yes.
Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for a wonderful narration of Gajendra Mokshas. I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate here.
Devil's advocate, I like devil's advocate.
I'm going to ask you a question which is more not like a devotee, but like someone who is listening anyways, So when I hear these things like that, we need to have that conviction that whatever is happening for, like that's Krishna's mercy basically. Everything is Hari Kripa, and that's the way. But sometimes I think that like, isn't it like that we have, everything is set up in such a way that if things do not happen as you think it should happen, then you have to consider that as, basically you have to just accept everything that happens to you. Like you are not like challenging, or you are not doubting. You just need to accept everything that happens to you basically. And as they say that like some people say that like religion is made basically for people to just so that they can become more disciplined
Oh,
and more, like it's nothing is real basically. Like all these things, stories and all those things are made simply so that people can remain, obedient and disciplined and do not question anything that is being asked by or being told by the king or any any authorities. Basically, they just want you to be more obedient, and that is why whole thing is. So how do we have this? How do we develop this conviction that like what is being said in Bhagavatam, what is being told to us? It's really difficult at times to understand that, like, or accept that, like Gajendra, he prayed and he, and he was delivered. But we don't see that happening like that in any longer, not in this world basically. So like, how do we develop that conviction that like everything is what is being said in this scriptures, and how do we, go forward believing that like this is right?
well, somebody very smart said the different ways of learning. Some people learn by reading books, the scriptures. Some people learn by observing other people. Some people learn by personal experience. And some people never learn. दांतों के भूत बातों से नहीं मिलते. And vast majority of the people, 99% maybe more of this world, are in the last category. No matter what, they will not it. That's fine. So go experiment and suffer or whatever. Nothing changes the fact that we are not the controller. If that was not true, everybody's kids would be whatever doctors, professors, engineers, whatever they want to be. Everybody will be millionaire and everybody having a great time. And why is there misery there? All those people who are poor, all those people who are sick, all those people who are handicapped, is it by choice? Were they born and said, "My dear Lord, please make me sure that I remain crippled all my life"? Or when I'm 10 years old, give me cancer, don't let go of it. Who prays like that? What people get. Who grows up saying, "I just want to be poor all the time. Don't let me have any money." But there are people who don't have any money. My point is that there's so much evidence that nothing's in our control. And when you think that you got what you wanted to get, it's not because of your ability. It was just a coincidence that Krishna wanted what you were looking for. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me give an example. Story from the scripture, but a story from Ramayana. Everybody knows Ramayana, right? So that there was a time when King Dasharatha said, "My son Ram will be coronated, and tomorrow is going to become the king." And Kaikeyi said, because got bad counsel from Manthara, and so she asked for the two boons that Ram should be exiled and perhaps should be naked. Everybody knows the story, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. So the background story of that is that when King Dasharatha announced that his son Ram will be coronated, one person got very worried, not Kaikeyi, not Manthara, one demigod, Indra, got very worried. Why? Because why did Lord Ram appear? Mother Earth had gone there with a request to get rid of this earth of all these demons who had become an extra weight upon her she could not tolerate. And Brahma had requested Lord Vishnu. He said, "Okay, I'll come, I'll appear as Ram." So one of the main purposes of Lord Ram's appearance was to killing all these demons, especially Rama. So when King Dasharatha announced Ram will be coronated, Indra got worried, wait a minute now, Ram becomes the king, he'll stay in Ayodhya, he'll be happy, he'll never go to Lanka and not kill Ravan, and I still be in trouble. So he quickly went to Mother Saraswati and requested her to please sit on the tongue of Manthara and make her say what she said in terms of exile Ram and make Bharat the king. And that's the advice she took to Kaikeyi, and then the whole thing happened. So Indra was very satisfied that, oh my God, I've made this plan, it happened, now Ram is going to go. Well, the next stage of that is that Bharat came back and said, I'm not going to be the king, I'm the younger brother, Ram is the king, I'm going to go to Chitrakoot and get him back. So now all the citizens of Ayodhya, soldiers and Bharat, they're going to where Ram is. Now Indra is worried again. If Bharat is able to convince Ram to go back, then I'm back to square one. Huzur kill Rama. So he went running to his guru, whose name is Brihaspati, and said, my dear Guru Maharaj, this is happening, and we did this Saraswati thing last time, we succeeded. So let me do the same thing again. Let me get Saraswati sit on the tongue of Bharat. So he says all the wrong things, and Ram will say, no, I'm still going to the forest. And you know what Brihaspati said? Indra, you're a fool. You're not a fool, you're a big fool. Because you're thinking that that was your plan that satisfied, that happened. Not a chance. It was Lord Ram's desire to go to the forest anyway because he needs an excuse to kill Ravan. So he would have done anything to go to the. So it's not your plan. It was Lord Ram's plan to have this thing happen. It just happened that your plan was the same. Now, Bharat is a pure devotee of Krishna. You mess with him, you not only make him angry, you make Ram angry also, and you'll be destroyed. So go sit in the corner, don't do anything. Right? So my point is, sometimes we think our plan succeeded. I'm sorry. It succeeded, yes, but not because it was your plan, not because of your control. Krishna wanted this to happen that way. So my point is, there's enough evidence in the world that our plans don't always succeed, despite our best effort. So why can't we learn? Who's the controller? There's so much evidence that nothing is in our control. So accept it. And all these historical stories that we have in the scriptures are simply to remind us that is the way it is. If you're intelligent, you understand. If you're not intelligent, you question it. And you question it and you fail and you suffer and you say, why is Krishna doing this to me? The same people who refuse to accept the authority of Krishna, they blame Krishna for bad things happening in their life. What kind of justice is that? Right? Am I answering your question, by the way? So let me tell you one other story, a really wonderful story. Slightly unrelated, but related. There was a very famous tennis player by the name of Arthur Ashe in the 70s. Black person. And in America, black people don't do very well because they're not allowed to do very well. So when a black person gets to the top of anything, that's quite an achievement. So Arthur Ashe became the US Open champion twice. He was in the top 2 or 3 category of tennis players. And he won many, many trophies, many, many tournaments. He had some sickness, and his blood transfusion done. But the blood that was transfused was contaminated, as a result of which he became very sick and was told now that maybe a couple of months to die. No fault of his. So many fans were very upset and they were writing him letters. There was no email in those days. So one letter he received and said, my dear Arthur Ashe, this is not fair that something like this happened to you. Did you ever ask God why this happened to you? And Arthur Ashe actually responded to that letter. He said, my dear sir, I won many tournaments in my life. I've got a lot of accolades in my life. I earned a lot of money in my life. I never asked God why. Why me? Why are these good things happening to me? So how is it justified that now one bad thing has happened and I ask the Lord, why me? Therefore, I'm not asking. I'm accepting. That's the right attitude. Unfortunately, most of us question, like you never said, okay, ask me. What can I do? But the fact is still a fact. Those are not mythology, those are history books. Bhagavad Purana, Ramayana, they are history, Mahabharata history, not mythology. Unfortunately, most people in India call it mythology. It's Hindi mythology. Mythology is based on the word myth. Myth means truth, lies. It's not mythology, it's history. But we're not taught, people in India are not taught that they're scriptures, they're facts, they're history, not mythology. And that's part of the problem why people just don't believe it. Hopefully you're satisfied.
Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, in India, when I have went to religious places or any religious places, I have seen that many, like you gave the example of devotees who make food, but they want validation and acknowledgement. And some people have a lot of scriptures knowledge, and when you meet them, sometimes my intuition says, even though they have this scripture knowledge, but they are not realized soul. So always the question comes in the mind, when we are going to the divine place, and we have been told, whatever you do there, it's for the divine. So by default, we are not supposed to seek any acknowledgement and validation. But at those places, when we keep hearing these things, despite of that fact, why people are seeking acknowledgement and validation that I'm a great devotee? Is it Mayajal or something?
Well, it is. It is. So what happens is, becoming a pure devotee is not that easy. And the reason is Maya. So Maya gives us the attachments, Maya gives us the false ego, which is basically nothing but identification with the body, and Maya makes us puffed up. And we want to achieve the highest. But we want to work to get the highest. And let me give you another example of that. Long time ago, when I was studying here, I had a friend. She was ranked number 2 in freestyle swimming in the province. So not in Canada, not in the world, in the province, ranked number 2, not number 1. So one time I didn't see her like 3-4 months. And I ran into her on the street and I said, Susan, what's going on? I don't see you anymore. And she says, Ravi, all I do is glass swimming pool. Glass swimming pool is all I do. So work that hard to become number 2 in the province. Now imagine if you're trying to be number 1 in the world for swimming or tennis or whatever, how much harder that is. And now you get beyond that, you want to become pure devotee, how hard is that? So we are not able to do that, therefore we pretend because we want other people to say, oh, what a great devotee. We want to pretend because we got some verses memorized, some things understood, we want to act like realized souls, people will praise me. Right? So all that's what you're observing is not real devotees, people who are trying to be real devotees but not there yet. So still that false ego, that affirmation, desire for affirmation, that desire for praise is still there. That's what you're witnessing. So you should, to be honest with you, Prabhu, you should reduce your expectation. Because you're not going to get many real devotees. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but that's the fact. So reduce your expectations, say, well, they know a little bit more, and maybe they're progressing well, but they're not where I read in the books. These are very special people mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So you should not expect to see them in the Dham. There may be few people, I'm not saying there's nobody there, but generally speaking, you don't see, or the chances are very small that you will see them. So therefore experiences are just your regular, ordinary people that you see outside the Dham also. Okay? Am I making sense?
Yeah. So my another question is, if some devotee is trying to really to be with divine, trying to understand divine and trying to figure out the absolute truth, but how someone can keep check and balances within themselves, that they are not entangled in the pride, in ego and acknowledgement, because once we are entangled, we don't even realize it that we we are seeking this validation and acknowledgement, but that's not the right way. We have chosen the wrong path.
Yes. So let me first of all tell you about a devotee. His name is Krishnadas Kaviraj. Has anybody heard that name?
Yeah.
What's he famous for?
Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Direct mercy of Lord Nityananda, direct mercy of Radha Madan Mohan Ji, direct mercy of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. He writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I am so fallen that if you take my name, all your pious deeds, pious credits will be gone. And if you think about me all the time, your bhakti will be gone. This Krishna's Kaviraj writing. So what does this mean? They think they're useless. They think no good. They think we're worse than a small mosquito or a worm in the stool. That's how they think. But we know who they are. So a real devotee will never think that they are somebody. Therefore, if you really want to progress, try to convince yourself I'm a nobody. I know that's hard to do. But until you convince yourself I'm a nobody, I'm totally dependent upon Krishna for everything, I'm totally dependent upon the mercy of the devotees for everything, you will not make progress. Bhakti comes from the mercy of the devotees of Krishna. So even the bhakti will not come. If you're so puffed up that I can't receive it from these are useless people, what can they give me? Well, they're finished. So the first thing we have to do is get to the point where we say, I'm a nobody. I need help. And be receptive to the help. Best way to do that is A, chant. B, stay in the association of devotees, even those who are not pure devotees, even those that you just talked about. Right? Read the scriptures. Listen to hymns. Perform deity worship. Those are 5 things. If you do that sincerely, slowly the progress will be made. Slowly the mindset will change. Slowly the humility will come, and we'll make progress in the path of devotional service. So remember those 5 things. Do them as sincerely as possible. And at all times, remember you are a nobody. I'm sorry, I'm not insulting you. I'm just in general, I'm saying, I'm a nobody. I have a body, but I'm a nobody. Because I'm not this body. Understand? That's the only way, but otherwise you'll be entangled, you will be upset, you'll be disappointed. All those things will happen. Okay? Yes, sir.
Hare Prabhu. One question came to my mind when you said the mukti for crocodile and for elephant. Did I hear you said Sarupya mukti for crocodile?
What I said was Sarupya Mukti for the elephant. The crocodile went as a Gandharva in Gandharva form, but later on, after some time as a Gandharva, so Gandharva, crocodile, Gandharva, after some time, Mukti. Because he was killed by the Lord. So Mukti has to happen.
So what type of mukti?
So
crocodile
that's
is?
usually is a Sayuji Bhakti, which is merging the Brahmanivantas. So it doesn't describe which kind, but we can conclude that Sayuji Bhakti for crocodile and Sarupya Bhakti for the elephant.
So why not Samipya, Salukya or Shastri for elephant?
So just think about this. There are five different types of books, right? One is Sarshti, which means same opulence.
Yeah.
Second is Sarupya, which means same form. Third is Salokya, which means same planet. Fourth is Samipya, which is near him. And then Sayuji we don't want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody gets Sarupya, where is he going to live? Where is he going to live? In the same planet, at least same planet. So Sarupya goes to Salokya. But Salok doesn't mean Samipya. You can be on the same planet, but you could be 5,000 miles away. Right? Like
Yeah.
we're both on planet Earth. right?
Yeah.
But some time ago, I used to live in India, and I don't know where you were, and now I live in Toronto, you live here, or somewhere, right? So Salokya, but not Samipya, right? Sarshti, there's some amount of Sarshti there in Salokya, right? The main difference is that the Lord has cost of money. You don't if you have Sarshti. But if you only Salokya, there's some amount of Sarshti, but not entire amount. You see what I'm saying? So there's some difference. But any of those four muktis get you closer to the God anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No, 3 minutes, no, we have to get out. But Prasadam time, okay?
Yeah, you can talk, yeah, one-on-one. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the class. Let's give a big round of applause. Next, I request you all for rising for the closing kirtan, and before that, from an announcement. So for this week, as you all know, we rent this facility from Agita Yoga Studio and 19th October.
There is no food for you.
So we take this facility as a rental. So for this week, the sponsorship for the program has been done by Karuna Sharma Mataji. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you, Mataji. And also for rest of the September and October, we have sponsors. If anybody likes to sponsor for any special day, please reach out to Panchami Mataji or Seema Mataji for knowing about the sponsorship opportunities. And as you all know, if you know any friends, neighbors who will be also interested in the Vedic education, we have the Sundays Kids School. It already started from last week, but still we have some registrations that anybody wants to register, they can come forward. You can reach out to Panchami Mataji or Rohini Mataji for registration. I think that's pretty much the announcement. I request you all to rise up for the closing kirtan.
Look at this. Chris, look, mommy. Look, Chris, you do this. You look at your eyes and see. See, mommy. Mommy, look. I'm hungry. I'm hungry.